Hello everyone and welcome to another exciting Beyond All Reason game recap. I'm Turd Bucket and I'm going to be taking you through this private game we played with some friends here. It was a really awesome experience. Both teams were pretty well balanced. We definitely went back and forth, so excited to share this one with you guys and get your take on it. Comment down below and let me know what you think of the game. Okay, so we'll skip past the beginning here. We had Luke up here in the left-hand corner, myself in the middle, and Empower Gaming on the other corner. I did ask both Luke and Empower to help me because I'm not super great at controlling the middle. So I was hoping that we could crush whoever was on their sides quickly and just at least be able to hold the middle. We assumed that Grunting would be in the middle. He always takes the middle. We just didn't know where Archon and Tony were going to be. So this is an interesting map. It's a new map. It's got these really cool structures on it, little pyramids. Vision is pretty good. It's a smaller map. You've got to get around these craters. You've got to get around these pyramids. So there's lots of choke points and pretty easy to hold. Especially, at this midpoint here. My strategy on this one, since there is no wind, that's another interesting feature of this map, was to pop up 6 solars to start, and then I was going to move my comm up. You can see here, though, that is going to end very quickly as my metal just completely drains. I'm trying to build this con and this at the same time, and I just stall out. So I am forced to go build this third mechs, finish up this 5th one, and then I'm gonna help this con bot and head to the front, because I know that Grunting is not going to waste any time. He's probably going to have his comm walking by the 2-minute mark, and I do not want to be I don't want to be behind to him. So he's sending out a con bot to go take these mexes. Archon is kind of following the same strategy, although he's focusing a little bit on defenses here, bundling an LLT in his base. TonyStark is doing the same thing. So we're all kind of playing the same game at this point. Power, pretty much the same. He's going for build power there. Same with Luke. So we've got and I drop an AA just in case someone tries to do something cheesy. Drop a comm or something. Alright, so Grunting is not going to bring his comm up. He's going to choose instead to help boost his lab. Get out a third construction bot after spitting out 5 ticks. See, I've already got my ticks placed up, so I know that Grunting doesn't have anything on the front just yet. Right? I know that we have the ability to take more than half the map, which is exactly what we need. However, I do take some time to drop another mechs. I'm worried about my metal right now. I'm only bringing in 11. Before that mechs, I was only bringing in 9, and I was worried about run buys. So instead of boosting my comm up quickly, I decided to make a little pit stop and drop that mechs. Luke is skipping his commander making mechs and just using his construction vehicles. Empower is using his commander to build those and is choosing to leave his con bots in the back of his base to boost his lab like I am. Alright, looks like Grunting spent a lot of time and money on those construction bots, so he was definitely trying to boost his eco early on, and you'll see that gives me time to get my units and my commander up, even though I was late getting to the front as well. Tony was really aggressive. He got his comm up quickly. He's going to drop that light laser tower to try to prevent any leaks. He's also got a radar up. We can see, let's check out his player cam so we can see what he can see. He knows where Empower is. And he knows where he needs to build his units. Alright, Grunting is pinging out Archon's attack here on Luke. Luke is definitely pushing up hard and fast onto Archon. And now he's got a nice chance to surround and kill this commander. Archon not using that D-gun, instead going with the commander's laser gun. And he is not doing any damage and gets taken down. That's a huge win for Luke. Now, Archon does not have a lot of build power on the front. He doesn't have any build power. Well, he's got a counter, I should say, on his lab. And so he's going to have the ability to... Luke is going to have the ability to rush Archon now, because he does not have a lot that he can do to try to prevent him. He can't make troops quickly, and he can't quickly make static defenses on his front line. Grunting is setting up a pretty porky front line. He's decided to go with beamers, which are the upgraded version of light laser towers, and do a lot of damage. In power, he's going with all troops here, just dropping defenses around his economy. And TonyStark is walling off his choke points to try to prevent run-bys by Empower. Meanwhile, Grunting and I are getting into a little bit of a spat here. So I come up and I'm going to get the D-gun. Probably because Grunting is off microing his units over here and did not see what was going on. He does hear the D-gun though, and starts backing his commander up and immediately starts to drop a beamer, which is going to be able to stop my rocket bots. You see these rockets are not hitting their mark. I don't have a radar. Oh, I do have a radar, sorry. So that does help make them a little more accurate, but their rockets are not always the most accurate unit. See here, we're going to start taking out this light laser tower. If we can make a shot. So in the dark like this, the shots are going to be somewhat targeted. And you can see I'm not making any of these shots. We're sailing past. Boom, it goes down. Well, we got two beamers up now, and this is basically going to become an impossible situation for my front here. Grunting does come up and try to D-gun. I back my troops up just in time, and he backs his comm up. I start getting beamered over there. I can't build that light laser tower there, so I'm going to choose a different location. Grunting's commander is getting down close to 50% health. He does fire off that D-gun and misses. So we are doing some work up here, and what we're doing is we're focusing his attention up here. So he can't spend a lot of time helping Archon or ecoing or see what else is happening on the map. That's really important to try to capture the attention of the frontliner, so that another teammate who's doing some work on the other side can make that happen. So Luke drops a second lab, a bot lab, and is running out of energy. Because of it, when you have two labs like that, it's really hard to keep your energy boosted. We have a lost commander now. He does take out all of Grunting's troops that he gets sent over to help, and most of Archon's. And Archon does not have any res bots to come and take that metal. So right now he's just trying to hold this, so either he or Grunting can get over there and get that metal. Meanwhile, Luke is making a push into Grunting, and it's a pretty effective push. He's taking out mexes. He took out his advanced solar. It's a really big win. The con turrets are not being targeted, and so they are able to heal and reclaim Luke's units, which can be more effective sometimes than troops if you can't kill those con turrets in time. Archon sends some units back to try to help, which in the end is going to frustrate the effort to hold this. Luke has a little pile of units here going, and I've got my commander up here ready to go to come down and help if need be. Meanwhile, I'm microing this front line trying to help the team here. I think Grunting had about enough at this point, and he decided that he was going to go try to comm bomb my base. So he brings his commander up and puts it in position. Meanwhile, I'm bringing my commander over to try to degun and prevent the reclaim of this commander. You can see here that Tony and Empower have pretty much got a stalemate. They've got pretty chunky, porky, unit-heavy front lines. The beamers from GruntingPawns are demolishing the grunts here, along with the light laser towers. So, and with the mix of tanks here against bots, Empower doesn't have much of a chance to break through Tony's line right there. So they're at a bit of a stalemate. I'm able to capture that comm, and I'm just going to head down to Archon's base, try to take him out. Luke is screaming at me to go attack Grunting, but knowing Grunting, I know he'll start dropping beamers the moment I get over there, so I decide not to do that. I'm overflowing on metal a little bit, so I decide to dump that into Empower so that he can build up his troops and hopefully get through. Got some successful D-guns there on, amazingly, not hitting any of Luke's troops. And I'm able to take out most of the troops coming for us right there. So as we're heading down, oh, look at that. Right on schedule. Here comes the beamer. So that beamer's getting built, and that is going to be a commander killer. We're not going to win against that. So at this point, I decide that it's no longer viable to attack Grunting, and we've got to attack Archon. Good news is Grunting is sending every single one of his units back to try to stop this. I don't really need to worry about this front line right now, and as a result, I'm able to just micro my commander and do some damage to Archon. I can see here Archon's bringing his troops in a nice big clump for me, so it's an easy D-gun. If you have them spread out, it's so much harder to kill those troops. So just keep that in mind. If you're going to try to go for a commander with a clump of pawns or grunts, you want to keep them spread out so that that commander has to spin his D-gun around, and it wastes time and allows them to be able to get that commander instead of losing all your units. So I'm walking up pretty hard and fast here. I notice there's an LLT I got to take out. First I get that lab so no more troops can get us, and then I race for the LLT. Get that. Got one more LLT. It's pretty dicey. I got 24% left, so I'm going to back off on that one for now and let Luke take care of those. Meanwhile, Noah has decided it's a lost cause, and he is clumping up his units here as I am streaming units into his base. Oh, and here we go. Grunting is going for the cheese. He brings his commander down. Now I see the difference. As I'm spinning my pawns around Grunting, he's having a much harder time degunning them, and as a result, I'm getting flanking damage, and I'm not losing my troops to his D-gun. He tries to cloak and get out of there, but it's too late. We got him. Boom. This game looks like it's over, but it is far from. At this point, Tony and Grunting realize that they have one commander left, and it's time to go. They've got to do something. They've got to have a big push. Otherwise, they are not going to win this game. Luke decides to try to attack Grunting one more time, and so he's pushing in from the side. But every single available unit from Tony and from Grunting, they are going to try to pound this middle. And this is where you can do some real damage when you start ganging up on players. My pawns fend off the ticks, but they're not going to be able to do much against the rocket bots and the maces that are coming out. Luke notices the beamer that I told him would be there, and so he decides that he's going to go around the beamer, which is a great idea. You never want to head right into it. Grunting is dropping beamers left and right. He does not want to be caught with his pants down. Empower, he has been porked up and troop heavy, and he has decided to go T2, which at this point, with a stalemate with his lane mate, it's not a bad idea. It's a really good idea. Tony breaks through, and it's noticed. And suddenly, Empower has to give chase. So he's bringing his troops over to try to stop. I'm bringing my troops over to try to stop. And Grunting has his clump of troops here that he could also send in at the same time. Tony is going to make a race for one of our bases. We don't know who yet. So we've got to kind of put our eggs in the basket and see where they fall. I'm deciding to make Centurions at this point to try to take out the tanks. It's the best, pretty much the best option I've got. I am running low on E, so not sure that we're going to be able to do much with it. Tony is looking over and he sees the T2 from Empower, so he decides that is not a good idea. And he heads for my base. All I've got is 2 lonely Centurions as I try to build my second advanced solar. I did nothing for my eco this game, so I was not able to pivot very quickly here. Bringing those Centurions around, they're basically little bot tanks, and they do some damage to the incisors, but not enough, and my base is going to be completely destroyed here. Do get some help from Empower though, coming in with those fiends to try to kill those incisors. Now they're heading for Luke. The good news is without wind, everything on our bases for energy is going to be a solar, and those solars are a lot tougher than windmills. So I don't think Luke sees the attack just yet. Now he does, and he is pulling all available units back to try to protect his base. And meanwhile, Empower and I are assembling our troops for a last push. We now realize that there's only 1 comm left. We've got 2, they've got 1. So if we kill TonyStark, the game is over. But Grunting knows this too, and he has been rezzing all these troops. And he uses those troops to get my commander. Without any energy, I am not able to degun. And so I lose my commander, and he comes in quickly with some res bots. Not to reclaim this time, but rather to resurrect. And there it is. Grunting is back in the game. Alright, now they have 2 comms. And in comes Empower, busting through TonyStark's line. He sent every single troop he had at us, and now he's got nothing to defend his base. He was teching up as well, which kind of caught him off guard. And now he's going to try to go for the D-gun. He gets 1, he gets 2, he gets 3. But it's not going to be enough. The tanks are too much, and Tony's health is dwindling. And there he goes.
Battle ended.
And that's the game, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed it. It was definitely back and forth. I cannot believe we won. I cannot believe we didn't lose. It was definitely a very balanced game there. Back and forth. Lots of trades between Archon and my base. Ultimately, the T2 from Empower is what probably won us the game. So, please like and subscribe. Drop a turd in the comments, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.